During the 45th annual general meeting of Reliance Industries, Isha Ambani formally announced the entry of Reliance in the FMCG industry.
I'm excited to announce that this year we will launch our fast moving consumer goods business.
Mukesh Ambani-led firm now will compete directly with the likes of Adani Group-owned Adani Wilmar, Hindustan Unilever Limited, and ITC, among others. Whatever Mukesh Ambani does, he does it with a bang. Take a case of Reliance Jio, for instance. Who had ever thought that the new company like Jio could disrupt the telecom industry? Jio's predatory pricing strategies with pre-voice and data pack took the telecom industry by storm, and it forced the incumbents like Airtel to slash its tariffs to retain the customer base. Jio made history by reaching 100 million customer base in just 6 months of operations, a record for any new company. So if we had to take a cue from what Mukesh Ambani did with telecom industry, FMCG players, whether big or small, need to brace themselves for the disruptions that will be created by the Reliance entry into FMCG space. In this episode, we'll discuss why Reliance is making its foray into FMCG space and how Mukesh Ambani is planning to disrupt the FMCG industry. So let's start today's videos with the basic concept of FMCG. So consumer goods are mainly categorized into three main segments, that is durable goods, non-durable goods and services. Durable goods are goods that cannot be completely consumed in one use and have a shelf life of 3 years or more. Cars, jewelries, home appliances and consumer electronics, for instance, are durable goods. By contrast, non-durable goods, which are also called fast-moving consumer goods, are consumed immediately and have a shelf life of less than 1 year. Goods such as cold drinks, beers, biscuits and cosmetic items, among other, falls under non-durable or fast-moving consumer goods. Further, fast-moving consumer goods can be categorized into three main segments, and they are household and personal care, healthcare and food and beverages. The FMCG market in India reached 110 billion in 2020, and at a cumulative annual growth rate of 14.9%, the FMCG market is expected to reach a massive 220 billion by 2025. As of now, the FMCG market is dominated by big firms such as Hindustan Unilever Limited, Reckitt, P&G, Nestle, and domestic firms such as Adani Wilmar, ITC, Dabur, and Marico. And guys, if there is money, there will be Ambani. As per the report of India Brand Equity Foundation, urban segment accounted for 55% of the total FMCG sales in 2020, and the rest coming from the rural segment. And the interesting fact about the rural segment is the FMCG products account for 50% of the total rural spending. It is said that the FMCG market will be driven more by rural areas than urban areas in the coming years. For the last few years, spending for FMCG products has grown at a faster pace in rural markets compared to the urban market. In Q4 of 2020, the rural market saw an increment of 14.6% in total FMCG spending. During the same quarter, Tier 1 and metro cities reported a growth of 2.7% and 0.8%. OL2 Telecom conglomerate is already a huge player in the retail industry, and also it makes sense for the company, which operates more than 15,000 retail stores across India, to enter the FMCG industry. Reliance Retail operates stores such as Reliance Fresh for grocery items, Reliance Digital for consumer electronics, and Reliance Jewels for jewelry items, among many other such stores. In addition to physical stores, it also owns and operates online platforms such as Jio, which is an e-commerce website for apparel, and JioMart, which is an e-commerce platform that focuses on groceries, fashion, home essentials, and lifestyle products. In the fiscal year 2022, the company had a revenue of around 2 lakh crores. For the same year, the company had a net profit of around 7,000 crores, which was 3 times the combined profit of the other 5 big retailers, with D-Mart chain, Tata-owned Trend, Shoppers Stop, Spencer Retails, and V-Mart Retail. By now, you may question that since Reliance is already in the retail sector and have some private label brands, what does it actually mean when the company announced that it is planning to become one of the biggest players in the FMCG industry? To answer this question, we have to understand the current business model of Reliance Retail. Currently, the company's major business comes from the selling and distribution of other companies' products. By saying that it wants to enter the FMCG space, it simply means that now the company will also own some of the brands in the FMCG space that it sells from its stores. And besides its own network of stores, the company will also onboard Kirana stores across India to sell those products. The FMCG arm of Reliance is aiming to meet a target of Rs 50,000 crores revenue in 5 years, and that is what Hindustan Unilever made in the year 2022. and hence it is inevitable for Reliance Retail to come up with its own brand of FMCG products and to expand its distribution network beyond its own stores with a close focus on the rural market. Another big question here is, how will Reliance Retail make a move in the FMCG industry? To compete against the likes of Hindustan Unilever Limited, which has a portfolio of 50 plus brands, Reliance Retail should also have at least 50 brands across the FMCG segment. The FMCG market division in India looks like this. The household and personal care segment has a concentration of 50%, healthcare has 31%, and food and beverage segment has 19%. Basically, there are two options for Reliance Retail to enter the FMCG industry. First, to come up with their own private label brands, and second, to buy or establish a joint venture with already established national or regional brands. To reach the ambitious revenue target of Rs 50,000 crores in 5 years, Reliance will use a mix of both strategies. The company has already introduced some private label brands across all the segments of the FMCG space. If you are a regular buyer at Reliance store, you may have seen a noodle brand called Snack Tag, the packaging of which resembles that of Maggi. And surprisingly, you will find Snack Tag sharing shelf space along with it. The other brands in the food segments include Desi Kitchen, Good Life, Ye Cola, Healthy Life, Asoyam, Aramba, and Cafe. In personal and home care segments, Reliance has brands such as Petals, Glimmer, Get Real, Mother Care, Puric, My Home, Enjo, Samba, Snog, and Shields. While the company will continue to develop and promote its private label brands, it will take years for the company to have high level of brand awareness and brand recalls like those of industry leaders who have brands serving the Indian market for more than a decade. In order to offset the low brand awareness and brand recall of its private label brands, the company is planning to purchase or form a joint venture with regional and national brands, with some operating for more than 100 years. The recent purchases include Campa Cola brands from Pure Drink Groups and Socio from Surat West Hazuri, which has been in operation since 1923. The company is also expected to enter a joint venture with AJE India, the maker of carbonated drinks brand Big Cola. Other notable brands the company is eyeing to include in its portfolio are Akash Namkeen, a maker of namkeen and packaged sweets, and popular spice makers such as MDH and Achi Masala of Tamil Nadu. The company also bought a controlling stake in the makeup and personal care brand Insight Cosmetics. Reliance Ambition to become the major player in the retail and FMCG segment is further bolstered by its strong presence in the premium brand category. In this segment, it already has a 60 plus international brands including Jimmy Choo, Michael Kors, Tiffany & Company, and Steve Madden, among many others. Overall, the aim is to build a portfolio of 50 plus brands in the FMCG segment. Now you may think why a company like Reliance with deep pockets is on buying spree rather than building its own brands. No matter how many brands you have, success in the FMCG space is determined by the strength of the distribution network. As of now, Reliance Retail's biggest strength is its offline network of more than 15,000 stores and millions of small stores connected to JioMart. In just 2 years of operation, JioMart was able to onboard 20 lakh merchants in its network and is planning to add additional 80 lakh merchants in the coming 5 years. In addition to its own distribution network, the purchase of national and regional brands will not only help the company to have brands with high awareness and brand recall, it will also bring in the manufacturing facilities, expertise, and distribution channel. Purchase of MDS brand, for instance, will bring its network of more than 1,000 stockists and thousands of dealers. The acquisition of Insight Cosmetics will give the company access to its network of 12,000 stores across 20 states. Had the company started from scratch to build its own brands and distribution networks, it would take years to accomplish that feat. Despite the growth in superstores, hyperstores, and e-commerce, local kirana stores still account for 80% of total FMCG sales. So if Reliance is to disrupt the FMCG industry, it cannot do so by only relying on its own network of stores. It needs to go beyond and onboard local kirana stores across the country. In this regard, the company aims to cover the entire country, serving over 7,500 towns and 5 lakh villages in the next 5 years. The company is also stepping up its e-commerce game to capitalize on the growing e-commerce sales. It is estimated that by 2025, the total online users in India are expected to reach 1 billion. With cheap data and online sales are only bound to increase. Reliance is well positioned in that end also. The company has partnered with WhatsApp, which allows users to browse the groceries catalog, add to the cart, and make an online payment for the purchases.
To start your shopping experience, you can simply say hi to the JioMart SmartBot in WhatsApp, and JioMart will send you a link to get you started.
The company has poured millions of dollars into online startups. In January 2022, Reliance invested $200 million in Dunzo for a 25.8% stake. For someone who is not aware of Dunzo, it is a hyper-local delivery service that provides services such as grocery shopping, laundry pickups to last-minute gifting option. The company also acquired a controlling stake in online pharma company Netmeds for $83.2 million. The company is poised to provide an omni-channel experience to its customers from both online and offline stores. With its own in-house initiatives and purchase of several regional and national level brands, Reliance Retail is on a mission to develop a strong distribution network, which is an indispensable resource to crack the FMCG segment. With the distribution network now taken care of, we can expect an intense price war between Reliance Retail and other FMCG players, because that is what exactly happened when Mukesh Ambani launched Jio. Jio's introductory offer of free voice and data pack gave its competitors one of their worst nightmares. They worried so much that they even filed a petition to the Indian government and Telecommunication Regulatory Authority of India to stop Jio from continuing its free offers. In retail too, Reliance will try to replicate the Jio's success with an aggressive pricing strategy. Let's take a look at how Reliance is promoting its private label brands. The private label brands of Reliance share shelf space along with other national and global brands. The company's in-house noodle brand SnackTag sits along with Maggi. There is a lot of similarities between both brands from packaging to color branding. However, SnackTag costs 18% less than Maggi. Similarly, Ye Cola, another private label brand from Reliance, sits along with Coca-Cola and PepsiCo's product. Like SnackTag, there is a huge resemblance in the packaging but comes at half the price. If the Reuters report is to be believed, Reliance is offering a profit margin of minimum of 20% to Kirana stores compared to 10 to 12% offered on similar products by global brands. You may wonder how Reliance is able to offer the same quality products at a lower price. The magic of low price comes from how Reliance produces and distributes its private label brands. Unlike other national and global brands which have set up their own manufacturing facilities, Reliance uses third-party manufacturers to produce its private label brands. And by using third-party manufacturers, Reliance is saving millions of investment that would otherwise have gone in the setup of those facilities. The cost saving also comes from the shorter distribution network. The distribution network for FMCG products consists of multiple layers of distributors, wholesalers, and retailers, and each layer adds a markup to the price to make a profit. Eventually, the unit price increases as the product moves down the distribution network. In Reliance cases, the company directly distributes its private label brands from its own network of stores and fulfillment centers. Doing so eliminates that extra markup each player would have added as the products move down the network. Local Kirana stores and shops can directly place orders in JioMart at discounted price and resell them at the MRP, which increases their margin. With Reliance entry into the FMCG segment, both national and global brands will be on high alert for every move the company makes. Since many other competing brands depend on JioMart and its physical store to sell their products, Reliance can impact their sales if it decides to give its private label brands more shelf space. No matter what happens to the FMCG space and other players, the end consumers are likely to benefit from the retail war. And those benefits will be realized in the form of low price and high quality products, similar to what people enjoyed after the launch of Jio. For now, we have to wait whether Reliance can create a Jio moment in the FMCG space. That's much for today. If you think you learned something new from today's lesson, make sure to hit a like button, and for more content like this, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.